Hi everybody, it's Disney Attic Girl here with Duffy, and today I'm here to discuss a very heated, controversial subject, and that is regarding the guest assistance cards, also known as the GAC. Recently there was an event in the news where there are some rich moms that will purchase a disabled tour guide for their entire stay at Disneyland, where their family would be able to bypass all the rides. And obviously that is unfair, that is disgusting, that they are using this system to take advantage of people who really need it. And I've heard stories of people who have tried getting guest assistance cards for real reasons, and cast members will roll their eyes at them, will give them a hard time about it, and it's just really awful because we have fakers like these people, the disabled tour guides. And if you want, I'll probably attach a link for the Today Show undercover thing that they did a couple of days ago. But anyway, obviously, I don't know what the guest assistance card looks like over at Disneyland, but I have the one from Walt Disney World right here in my hands. I did white out on the name because this is actually my friend's card who suffers from, well, I'll go into that later, but basically the guest assistance card is to help people who struggle going through your typical theme park day and just need a little bit of extra help. This is more with hidden disabilities. So if you look at the card right here, there is a stamp. My friend, I will call her, for the sake of this video, I will call her Sarabi, because I decided to use a name that most of you guys won't associate a certain person with. For my Disney addicts out there, you know who Sarabi is. She is Simba's mommy. So I'm going to be my little Disney addict girl self and call my friend Sarabi. I'm sure she will love that. But anyway, my friend Sarabi has the alternative entrance pass. That is what her stamp means. There are a couple other stamps. There is a wheelchair stamp, which I've heard a lot of mixed things about the wheelchair. If you're actually in a wheelchair or an electric scooter or an ECV or an EVC, I always forget which one it is. Some cast members say you don't need the guest assistance card. Some say get one just in case. Best thing to do, just get a guest assistance card, because you don't know what cast member you'll be talking to that day, and they each have their own little policy on that whole deal. So there's a wheelchair stamp. I can't show you what that one looks like because I do not know. But basically it's just you do the wheelchair entrances. The green light stamp, I think I've also heard it look like a stop sign or something. It's usually for the Make-A-Wish children, and that's the biggest myth about the guest assistance card, is that it is your green light to go straight to the front of the line with no wait at all. That is a lie. The only way to get straight to the front of the line with no wait at all is if you are a terminally ill child or the family member of a terminally ill child and they are on a Disney trip with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Okay? That is the only way. If you are not that, you are not getting straight ahead to the front of the line. Another stamp is the stair stamp, because I know that there are some people who suffer from back or knee problems and they are no longer able to climb stairs the way they used to. This comes more into a problem with rides such as Space Mountain. Again, this is Walt Disney World. I don't know how things are run over in Disneyland because I've never been there, sadly. Teardrops. But I know Space Mountain has stairs. Tomorrowland Speedway, Toy Story Midway Mania, and a couple others. I know I should know these off the top of my head, but I don't, so I'm really sorry about that. But any ride that has stairs, you show them the card beforehand, and they'll direct you to an alternate route where you don't have to take the stairs. So, oh, and one last stamp I forgot, and this is a visual stamp. I don't know what it looks like, but it's more for the shows, and it's basically, it makes sure that you're sitting in the first 2 to 3 rows of any show or production on Disney property. Some shows they can't really help you out with, like the shows that just kind of pop up, like the Castle show, the Dream Along with Mickey, or what's the Frontierland Showdown that they have, because there's not actual seats, but shows such as Beauty and the Beast, Festival of Lion King, Finding Nemo, those types of shows, they can accommodate any vision issues. So what I want to talk about is that there is so much controversy. The biggest thing that the guest assistance card is for is to help people, and I've heard so many people using it when they don't have any issues. And what you guys are probably all wondering is, how does my friend Sarabi get one of these magic cards? But she actually suffers from an extreme anxiety and claustrophobia. So actually what happened to her was, and I still feel awful about this day, but we were at the parks together. We were at Magic Kingdom, and I just, we usually pack our own food, and I packed a sandwich, and I guess it wasn't really doing me too well, and I was feeling really sick, so I just kind of sat on a bench, and she's like, "Oh, come on, let's ride Space Mountain." I'm like, "No, so Robbie, I'm not feeling Space Mountain. It's not going to be good for me." And she got in line on Space Mountain, and while she was in line, everybody has had the experience of being in line, and you have that person behind you that just wants to pop your bubble. And she kept inching forward to the family in front of her, who, the poor thing, neither of the family in front of her nor the family behind her spoke English. So she was just completely on her own, and she kept trying to scooch forward, and the family behind her just kind of kept getting on top of her, and it just got way too much for her, and she completely broke down, had a full-on panic attack. Here I was just sitting outside on one of the benches by Space Mountain, and I had no idea that this was going on, and she just broke down, crashed, and she started hyperventilating. It was a really awful experience. Luckily, there was a family ahead of the family that was ahead of her, who had a teenage son who ran off and grabbed a cast member to assess the situation and help her out. And the cast member took her by the hand and was able to escort her off the ride. And she wasn't even on the ride. She was just in line, and she was escorted out of line. And I saw her with the cast member, and I was scared for my life. And I ran up to her, and I'm like, Sarabi, are you okay? Are you okay? And the cast member was just like, "Oh, she just had a bit of a panic attack." And that was when he explained to us what the GAC was, and said that it would be useful for a person like her. So, and that's just the alternate entrance. You wouldn't think, and she still feels really bad about using it. I only tell her to use it when she's visiting by herself, because there's nobody there for her, and I notice when she's using the alternate entrances, there's less likely of the people to be like on top of her. So that's the reason I have her use it. But I've heard of people using it for that. I've heard of people using it for children or adults with autism. They deserve to have a good time just like everybody else. I'm trying to think. Another thing that people should know is, usually when you approach an attraction, they tell you to park your stroller before you get on the ride. Some people use their strollers as their wheelchair. So what you can now do, and this, I believe this started about last year, you can get a red tag for your stroller that says, like, it basically has like a little symbol that's like stroller equals wheelchair, and that lets the cast members know that you can take the stroller into the line and go through the line with that. I'm trying to think. This video ended up being a lot longer than I expected, and I apologize for that. If you guys have any more questions about the guest assistance card, I will be more than happy to answer them. You could message me on Tumblr, you can put a comment below on YouTube. I just really want to have the proper message sent out about these cards. It's not a get to the line fast pass thing, no. And cast members, you really don't know what these people are going through. Like, my friend Sarabi and I were jokingly called twins. We look almost identical. We have the same curly brown, well, hers is more of a dirty blonde hair than brown curly hair. But we kind of look alike, and you wouldn't think that she would have any problem. And when she flashes this guest assistance card when she's alone, I worry about the type of look she's getting, because that alone is a trigger for her, because she's just so sensitive, and I'm just so scared for her. But I don't want her to hide in fear and not go on rides when she visits the parks alone, because that's not a way to live life. The main thing of the guest assistance card is it lets you enjoy the park. It lets you live your life. You don't have to be controlled by something that was given to you, something that was placed on your plate that you didn't ask for. That's basically the whole gist of the guest assistance card. I guess that's really all I have to say. This is a topic I'm very passionate about, and the more questions you guys have, I am happy to answer any and all questions. And chances are you will not see my friend Sarabi pop up on any of these videos, because she wasn't too happy about me asking for her card to begin with. Like, she made sure that I figured out a way to white out her card so her name would not be shown at all. But just once again, this is what the front of the card looks like. And obviously where the whiteout is would be the name of the person who is with the disability. And then the back is just kind of an explanation of the rules. So if there's anything else, message below. Bye, everybody.